Yo, 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 what's going on, my fellow wrestling fans? Welcome to a brand new week and welcome to a brand new edition of what we like to call the Clash of Champions, where we dive headfirst into all the controversy, storylines, personalities, and everything in between that center around this world we know and love as professional wrestling. For better or worse, I am your host, the vegan you believe in, Conscious Kurt, aka the Professor, aka Kurt GPT, in the flesh as always. And my co-host needs no introduction, but the hell with it. He's about to give y'all one anyway.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is tag team partner Jonathan Randall, the Avenger himself, at your guys' service, and welcome to our podcast, our soap opera that we love to call professional wrestling. Another edition of our episode, as always. Kurt, how you been?
Been pretty good, with the exception of my Knicks being down 3-1 against the Pacers. I'm doing pretty well. I had a fun weekend.
Man,
I had a
man,
good
oh man,
Memorial Day where I went to the park, went to
yeah,
Prospect Park. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, my damn Knicks. One
damn
win
it,
away. I'm
Kurt.
sorry, one loss away from being eliminated.
Kurt, this is man, I had high hopes for you, man. I mean, look, a lot could happen, but the whole vibe of this whole series is not turning out well. I was really hoping and praying for a New York Knicks in the finals, man. I wanted to see that. That would have been so great, good for the league, for the ratings, and I don't know, man. I feel bad, so bad for you guys' franchise and your fan base, man, because you guys been through a lot, and you guys really needed this. So I don't know. I feel like it's already over though, but then again, hey, I'm overstepping my boundaries. But um, man, oh man, this sucks.
I still believe we can win tomorrow night because we're going to be at the Garden. But Game 6 on Saturday would be the one I'm really worried about.
I didn't realize that our Triple H was at Game 4. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
Triple H and Pat McAfee were there last night.
Yeah.
Screw them. No, I'm just playing.
No.
Yeah,
Mostly said
but
at the Reggie Miller, but damn.
I'm grateful they won on Sunday. Like that, I was really happy that they at least pulled that off. But this series should be tied. After what
You
the
know,
fuck happened in Game 1, the series should be tied.
you're right. You're right. It should be tied because you guys are like we said a couple episodes ago, you guys were up 17 points with over like 2.5 minutes left, and you guys couldn't control the tempo of the game. And the fact that it also went in overtime and just couldn't rebound back from that, man. And yeah, you are right. You're right. The series should be tied.
Yeah, but I even said going into this series that Indiana was tough. They were not going to be an easy team to beat. And yeah, it's not looking good right now. But I'm not giving up on my Knicks until the series is over.
True. That's a good point. That is very true. And but let's just say if you guys let's just say you guys lose game 5, right? Moving
Yeah.
forward, because this will be the second straight year you guys lost to Indiana in the playoffs, right? Moving forward, I mean, this is really going to be bad for you guys, not just for as a team, but also for you guys as head coach Tom Thibodeau.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Look, it's not a series I'm going to want to look back at and remember if it ends tomorrow night, especially. But regardless, I do think the Knicks had a great season. I mean, if you're a Knicks fan, you can't really be mad at the season we had, from going to the conference finals for the first time in 25 years. Yeah, you can't get mad at that. It would be great if we went to the finals. It would be great if we were, having a better series with Indiana than we are now. But win or lose, this was a good year. I can't call it a bad year even with it ending this way.
I don't want to say that it was a bad year though, but I mean, there's going to be some rising questions during the off season because I mean, you guys acquired Carl Anthony Towns along with Jalen Brunson, and just you got to remember just losing because they mentioned this on First Take, and they had a good take on this, and then second straight year you're losing against the Indiana Pacers, a team that you've pretty much battled against throughout the years. Whenever you guys are in the playoffs, you know what I mean. So, I mean, I feel like there are going to be some questions rolling along. If you guys don't pull this through, I mean, there's going to be like, okay, what's going on? You know what I mean?
It happens, man. This happens all the time. There's always that one team that that for whatever reason you can't beat in the playoffs. Like I remember this happened with the Knicks and Bulls for years. I remember that was a big deal for a long time until the Knicks finally beat them, even though Jordan wasn't playing at that point. And also even the Spurs and the Suns. The Suns would lose to the Spurs every year in the playoffs, but then eventually they caught up to them.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it sucks that it's happening right now. It sucks that we're losing this series, but at the end of the day, eventually we are going to get up in that ass.
I hope so, man. I mean, hey, you may never know. You guys may come back down 3-1. I don't know. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. But
Yeah, I'm just taking it one game at a time right now. That's all I can
true.
do.
That's all you guys could do.
All right, but let's shift gears into our pro wrestling talk. As it came out actually last week, as we were recording our wrestling review rewind episode, that WWE has decided to remove WrestleMania 42 from New Orleans. And although it has not been made official yet, it is likely going to be taking place in Las Vegas for the second straight year.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. Because like you said, it's literally happened right after we got done recording.
Yeah.
This is not a good thing. I know some of my friends here back home in Vegas were happy about it, and they were hitting me up like, John, guess what? Mania is going to come back to Vegas, and I had to sit down and talk with them and be like, look, I don't like it, and it was a bad unprofessional business move on their part, mainly on TKO's part. Look, I wanted to go on a rant, and I still am. After the show was over. But when TKO and WWE made their merger last year, I was like, whatever about it. You know what I mean? Okay, stuff happens. But when you make decisions like this just because of money, it is unprofessional. It's not a good deal. It is not. I get that WrestleMania brought in a lot of money here to Vegas. And yeah, do I see Vegas hosting another WrestleMania next 3 or 5 years like they said beforehand? Yes. But at the end of the day, you did back in February of this year, you did decide that WrestleMania next year will be in New Orleans. You stick to that plan no matter what. And that was unprofessional to take that away from him just because of the fact that Vegas made more money. It's also because of the fact that you were overcharging your fans ticket prices. I didn't like the
Yeah.
move.
And you know what's even funnier? Guess who came out to announce that WrestleMania was coming to New Orleans?
The Rock.
Yeah, another thing The Rock, delivered to the fans, or like news he delivered to the fans that he didn't follow up on,
Yeah, man. And it
or
just,
that
I
wasn't
feel
followed up on.
bad. And here's the thing, Earl, TKO makes this statement saying how, like, oh, Vegas made so much money and blah, 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 and all that. But they're obviously not smart enough to think about, well, okay, the last two times WrestleMania was in New Orleans, 2014 and 2018, they made a lot of profit from that event alone. And let's not forget, earlier this past February, the Super Bowl was just in New Orleans. So I don't know what they're talking about. How they could have profited over more money because of the fact it's in Vegas. So I don't. It was a very unprofessional move. I don't like it. Just it's not good for business. And I get it. Well, John, guess what? WrestleMania was in Atlantic City 2 years in a row back in '88 and '89. Guys, business was different back then. That was a different business back then. Revenue was different.
And those WrestleManias suck too.
Still though, but I mean, revenue and business was different at the time, but you don't see them doing that anymore. So I feel bad for the committee or whoever in New Orleans had that opportunity snatched away from them over a decision that was pretty much based off of greed when you really think about it. And TKO, this shows how TKO doesn't care about their fans. All they care about is money, and I don't like it.
Yep. Yep, that's basically the best way you could describe them, is that all they care about is profit and their bottom line. Even if they price out the loyal fans who've been going to shows for years or whoever it is, yeah, all they care about is that dollar. And yeah, just doing it like this after you already promised it to them, after you already announced it a few months ago, just
Yeah.
to give it back to Vegas again. Look,
Yeah,
if they waited till like after WrestleMania this year and saw how much money they made, then made that choice, that would have been one thing. But just to like already promise it to one city and then go back a few months later and say, "Oh, never mind, we're gonna bring it back here instead." Yeah, that's not a good look.
that's like having the Super Bowl in the same city 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? And even Jonathan Coachman ranted about it. Now, I
Fuck
don't agree
Jonathan
with it.
Coachman. Fuck Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, hold on. We're not talking about the other stuff we're talking about. I'm
All
talking about
right.
he ranted about the situation. That's what I'm talking about. Even though I do not agree with the other stuff that he says, he ranted on this situation. I agree with what he's saying. Like that's like having a Super Bowl in 2 straight years in the same city. That's not fair. You have to be fair and have to give your other cities an opportunity and a chance to host this event.
Yeah, they definitely should, but it's not even just that. Like, if they had just like waited after WrestleMania this year to announce where it was going to be next year, and they had never like promised it to New Orleans, that would have been one thing. But the fact that they promised it to them, made a big announcement, already started promotion for it, and then just went back on it—that's the part that looks the worst. And
Yeah,
yeah, having it in the same city 2 years in a row is a little weird. It has not been done since WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5. I'm a little bittersweet because I feel like now I'm maybe gonna get a second chance to go to Vegas for WrestleMania after I missed out on it this year. But
yeah,
at the same
but
time, I do think that it was wrong to do it this way.
yeah, you could say that. Now, part of me, I know, get what you're saying, Kurt. Part of me was like, oh, well, great. I get to redeem myself from earlier this year. Well, how? Because they made the decision based off of money. That means that the ticket prices are not going to go down anytime soon. It's going to pretty much be the same or probably more than earlier this year. You know what I mean? So you're still kind of like, well, down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was kind of amped to go to New Orleans. I've never been to New Orleans before, but
And New Orleans is a
um,
great. We raved about how New Orleans is a great WrestleMania host city. Man, we
I've
talked
heard
about
that.
that. I mean, they've been there twice. Look at the money that they made from that event alone, Kurt. What it did for the city, and you're gonna say that, well, Vegas, would have did more and blah blah blah. And then this was one thing, a statement that I read from them on Twitter. This kind of insulted me when I read this. They mentioned how, like, well, Vince McMahon would have not have done this, and I'm like, dude, Vince would have. Of course, Vince would have not have done it. He would have not have put a WrestleMania in the same city 2 years in a row. Come on.
Well, he did it back then. I mean, maybe now he wouldn't do it, but yeah, back
I
then he
mean,
did
I
it.
know back then though, but that's what I'm saying. Though times were different back then. I don't
Also,
think
another
he would
factor
have.
you have to another factor you have to also consider is the fact that with WWE being linked to UFC and the fact that UFC holds a lot of their fights in Vegas, a lot of the big events in Vegas, now it seems like WWE is like following suit.
See, and
And
that's another thing I
apparently
don't
it's
like.
gonna and apparently it's gonna be like a lot of WrestleManias coming to Vegas from now on.
Yeah, I see it. I don't like that. See, that's where, as a fan, when I saw this situation, now I'm really starting to question their motives from TKO because I don't like it. It's like you have to spread out and be fair to your other cities, man. You
Oh,
cannot.
give them another event. Give them Royal Rumble. Give them SummerSlam. Yeah, they had
Yeah,
SummerSlam there a couple years ago. Yeah, give them another event.
yeah. But your biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. Come on now, you can't do that. It was unprofessional. Unprofessional. All I have to say about that, and I don't like it. And for those, everybody here at home, like, sorry to crush it, but that's how I feel. I'm not happy about it. If somebody else asks me about it, like, hey, Manny's coming here, I'm gonna straight up tell. I was like, look, as I told everybody else, I'm not happy about it. What they did was unprofessional. You don't do that.
Yeah, but as a consolation prize, New Orleans is going to get Money in the Bank next year, which is going to be
In
actually
late
happening in late
August,
August. Yeah, after SummerSlam. Very weird.
again, another decision and situation. I was just like, what are the hell are these guys doing? Money in the Bank is before is literally like the middle of the summer, either June or July, before SummerSlam. And yeah, like I just all right, okay. Like
Look,
you're
WWE.
gonna make New Orleans feel better. Like, oh, you're gonna take away WrestleMania, but yeah, you're gonna give us Money in the Bank. Like, okay,
Look, WWE from a product perspective and yeah, storyline and creative perspective, it is definitely a lot better now than it was when Vince was still in charge those last few years. But just some of these business moves and like
Yeah,
the over and like all these damn ads they throw in our face and having these damn like ads all over the fucking mat, yeah, it has become overkill.
yeah.
And not to mention
I've been
charging an arm
saying
and a
that.
leg for tickets.
I'm telling you, I've been saying this for months. Like, look, as far as the product and everything, they're knocking the park. They're hitting home runs. I applaud them on their product. But as the business side of it, I just don't like what they're doing. It's just weird, especially with all the sponsors and stuff. And look, I've been totally against the whole mat, the ads on the mat for the longest time. I don't like it. I hate it. Hate is a strong word, but I hate it. It's just what's the whole point? Is too much. We get it on a business side that money and all that stuff, but you don't have to put it all in their faces like that. Like on the apron, on the mat, it's like it's too much. So
Yeah, they only have room for like what 5 6 matches on the PLEs, and yeah, half of the time on the PLEs it's dedicated to these ads for shit that you don't even want to buy.
right, it's just.
I'm not going to Wingstop.
I mean, for you, Kurt. I mean, I like Wingstop, but still.
And where some of this madness they're putting us through would stop, but that's another story. But yeah, weird move on WWE's part. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to go to WrestleMania this year. I'm definitely going to SummerSlam. I'm actually probably going to buy my ticket this weekend.
Mm.
Definitely going to SummerSlam. Yeah, they've been having a lot of events at MetLife Stadium the last few weeks. They had Shakira there a few weeks ago. They had Kendrick and SZA. They had Beyonce
Oh,
there last week. Yeah, they've been
yeah.
having mad events at MetLife recently.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I forgot
But it
about
was
Kendrick.
bad though. It was bad though a few weeks ago because the New Jersey Transit went on strike.
What the hell is going on with you guys over there, man? It's like I feel like your subway stations just have just a bunch of problems these days, man. Like for years, what's going on, man? What's
Yeah, the New
going
York
on?
the New York New Jersey like public transportation system. It's convenient in many ways. It's very convenient, but yeah, there's a lot of fuckery that goes on. They did
I
squash the
know.
strike. They came to some kind of agreement with the strike, but still, yeah, there's a lot of fuckery
Is
going on
it
with it.
is it the employees with pay? Is it what's
There's
going
a
on?
bunch of that stuff. Yeah, basically a bunch of that stuff, working conditions,
Wow.
etc.
I man, y'all are it's every time it's like when it comes to events, man. I feel like every other event, there's always something going on with the turnpike situation, man. I'm like, what's
I
going on
think
now?
I think when I go to SummerSlam, even though MetLife Stadium is only a 15-minute trip from Madison Square Garden in yeah New York, I think I'm probably just gonna get a hotel close by for the weekend so I could avoid those problems.
It was funny. I was joking with my girlfriend's brother because if you guys went to the finals, or let's say you guys won the championship this year, I was joking around like, bro, I'm gonna have to tell you to find shelter somewhere in the city. Dude, that city is going to be burned to the ground if you guys, not even you guys just won the finals, if you made it to the finals. The
And I
Statue of Liberty, Kurt, will be torn down if that were to happen.
they gotta swim all the way over there just to get there. Or I
Still,
could take a
they
boat. I
would.
could take a boat. I'm talking shit.
They would. They would, Kurt.
Yeah, yeah, those videos I was seeing of like the celebration after they beat the Celtics, where like people were like jumping off of the street signs and like yeah, just like yeah, causing a whole bunch of ruckus. I think that's another reason maybe why we're going through what we're going through in this series right now because I feel like maybe we jinxed ourselves by celebrating too hard for winning that series.
Ay,
Yeah, because we were literally celebrating like we won the championship. Look, it was a great
I know,
accomplishment to
but
finally get over that
I,
hurdle, but yeah,
I know,
still.
but it's like you guys been through a lot, though. You know what I mean? So that's why
Yeah,
I
I
really
know.
want you guys to be in the finals because that would be great, man. Because like I was watching highlights from the '94 finals, and I was like, damn, I really wish you guys could get back to that, man.
That
Ay.
was our one chance. The year Jordan retired, we beat the Bulls, and the Bulls still pushed us to Game 7 even without Jordan. And we went through that crazy ass series with the Pacers, and we beat them in 7. And then we go all the way to 7 against the Rockets, and we don't get the job done.
And you guys had a loaded team. And then I was watching the you guys' intro. your guys' starting lineup intro, and I was like, oh my god, because I never seen it before, right? And I was listening to the song, and I was like, oh my god, that's a very catchy song you guys got going on. I was like, I got amped up, and I'm not even a Knicks fan. I was watching this, I was like, wow, I'm just like, hmm,
Yeah, broadcast the starting lineups during the finals again. I missed that.
yeah. Maybe they'll
Yeah,
do
that would
that
really
next
get
year
me
when they
amped
go
up.
back on NBC.
Hey, possibly.
Yeah.
But in any event, let's move on to some actually wrestling product related news as opposed to business moves. We did have Saturday night's main event take place this past Saturday from Tampa, Florida, the first of three
Ah,
events that took place in Tampa.
speaking of
And
NBC,
yes, it did take place on NBC. And much like the past Saturday night's main events we've been having ever since they rebooted it back in December, this is basically a house show with a bigger budget. But there were some angles that did come out of this show. And one of those man angles took place in the opening match as we had Sami Zayn and CM Punk team up against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And during the match, we saw an appearance from the returning Bronson Reed, who
mm,
tsunamied CM Punk through the railing, which was nasty as hell to see. And then Sami Zayn was distracted by this, and this led to him getting speared by Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker and Rollins picked up the win. Then after the match, like Breaker was like kind of looking at Bronson Reed all like suspiciously, and then Seth Rollins gave him a hug, which solidified that Bronson Reed is now the newest member of their stable.
this is crazy how like a year ago, Bronson Reed, injured Seth Rollins at one point, and this happens. The numbers have gotten bigger.
Yeah, 6 tsunamis he hit him with. Yeah, back in August,
Yeah, the
and
numbers
now he's a
gotten
part of the
bigger.
crew.
Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, now Bronson Reed, along with Paul Heyman. Oof.
This almost reminds me of the time of when Kobe Bryant and Matt Barnes got into it. When Matt Barnes was on the Magic, when he tried to throw the ball in his face and Kobe didn't flinch, and then all of a sudden a few months later, Kobe calls Matt Barnes and asks him to be a part of the Lakers, and he's like, "Yo, anybody who's crazy enough to step to me that way is crazy enough to play on the same team as me," and they
Oh my
became best friends after
god.
that.
Oh my god.
All right, but
Oh
anyway, yeah. So
man.
Bronson Reed's now part of the stable, and he even gave CM Punk a tsunami for his troubles. So
Mm.
yeah, it looks like I guess Sami Zayn's not joining their crew anymore, which actually I
No.
prefer it this way. I prefer
Yeah.
Bronson Reed being a part of the crew. I think it's definitely a much better fit. And yeah, they're gonna be running rough shot now.
Yeah. You had to see what that's going to happen. But this is really good for Bronson Reed, though. You know what I mean? To
Huge, it's
put him
great.
in this situation. This is really good. I like this. So
Yeah, it's great for him. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like the best opportunity he's had in his career so far.
of course. Ever since, don't get me wrong, his feud with Braun Strowman was great. But this situation right here, all this is 10 times better.
And hell, his feud with Rollins never really had like a proper conclusion because he got hurt in the
True.
War Games match, and
True.
yeah, he's
That
been
is that
gone
is
up
very
until
true.
recently.
Hmm.
Yeah, but other than that, on Saturday night's main event, we did have Selena Vega defend the women's United States title against Chelsea Green. Honestly, this match was probably the weakest part of the show. I hate to say, there was one point where Zelina Vega attempted a 619, and it didn't really go well.
Oh,
And
I
then I
saw
think
that. She didn't really. Yeah.
yeah, it didn't
Oh.
go well. And I think in that spot or some other spot in the match, she like hit Chelsea Green in the nose and like I guess broke her nose because you noticed after the match Chelsea Green was bleeding from her nose,
Mm.
and yeah, it did not look pretty.
Isn't she taking some time off after this? I heard.
I don't know. We'll get into that with somebody else in a few minutes, but Zelina Vega predictably so did retain the title in this match. I don't know if this feud is going to continue, but who knows? But yeah, by far the weakest part of the show.
Hmm.
And then we had in a non-title match, we had R-Truth going against his hero, the man he looked up to even ever since he was little, even though this person is younger than him, the WWE
Hmm.
champion John Cena.
And R Truth came out to the ring literally dressed as John Cena.
That was pretty
His
funny. I'm not
own
gonna lie, that was
shirt,
hilarious.
everything. He had his own shirt, the wristbands, and all that.
Yeah, that was cool. That's probably the highlight of this whole match because, to no surprise, John Cena picked up the win with some cheating tactics. And yeah, there wasn't much to this beyond that. It was what it was. We all pretty much expected this. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was, like I said, it was a match.
Yeah. But the next match, this was personally like my favorite match of the night. And it was a steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
which was commentated by Jesse the Body Ventura.
How do you think he felt he did? How did he got a little got a
He's
little heated at the end of the match.
It's not even just that. It was the fact that like he kept like talking over the ring announcer when the ring announcer was doing the announcements. Yeah,
Mm,
just certain parts of his announcing kind of threw me off a little bit.
okay, I mean, yeah, I mean that was what
He's
I
old.
mean,
I mean, for one, he's older. For two, he doesn't really do it regularly like he used to. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna crucify him over it. But yeah, those were things I noticed. And then the match
true,
between Drew and Damian Priest was good, but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were probably limited considering that McIntyre opened up recently about how they could like barely move his head to like the left side.
Yeah, I when I read about that, I knew I was like, yeah, Damian Priest is definitely going over because
Yeah,
McIntyre needs to take some time off, and I love the ending, how they sold it. That was a great way to finish that match. Um, I loved how Drew McIntyre was trying to do the same finish what he did to Damian Priest at WrestleMania, do the Claymore kick while Damian Priest's head was close to the steel chair, but he missed, and then he does a South of Heaven, and then insult to injury, he does a concerto. That's so crazy.
and yeah, Damian Priest picked up the win by walking out of the cage.
Yeah, that was. I was watching. I was kind of like he could, and it wasn't necessarily that. It was the fact that he kind of took his time when he was doing it. That kind of like I scratched my head when I saw that. He took his time when he
Yeah,
did it. It's like he wanted, like he was about to leave, and then he turned back like he wanted to do something else, and he kind of hesitated. And he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna walk out." And I was like, that was a bit weird, but
I think this is the first time I've ever seen a babyface win a cage match by just walking out of the door
yeah, usually they'll either win it by pinfall or
or climb out.
climbing over the steel cage. But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, in a way, I would have rather had him win by pinfall. I think that probably would
Mm,
have been better. But yo,
true.
Jesse Ventura was hot over the fact that Damian Priest won the match that way. He lost his fucking mind talking about why doesn't he? Why he's like saying he might as well have a taxi come and pick him up from the side door of the cage and take him back to the dressing room.
For real. I'm telling
Bring
you,
back
man.
those old
Like,
carts from WrestleMania 6.
yeah. You know what? Somebody on Twitter, and I even posted it. Like, we need more commentators like that. That's literally pro heel. You have to put some more enthusiasm to cheering for the heel. You can't be like, oh, you know, little, side by side with the baby face. Nah, man, be full heel. Support the heel, man. I miss that.
Yeah, I hear you. I wish we did have like more of that. Maybe
Yeah.
I guess maybe we have it a little bit from Wade Barrett to a degree, but overall, yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like the way
Yeah.
that we had it with Jesse Ventura and then
Yeah.
Jerry Lawler for a while too. Also
Yeah.
Heyman.
And don't forget, oh man, Bobby Heenan.
Oh, goes without saying. Yeah, Bobby
Yeah.
Heenan was a G. Yeah, but Damian Priest picked up the win here in only the third cage match in the history of Saturday night's main event, and the first one did not involve Hulk Hogan. It's odd though. Like obviously we're not Hogan fans, but it's actually odd that like in that opening promo package before the show starts, they don't put him in it at all.
Oh, I need to see that
Yeah, they
again.
have
Yeah.
like DiBiase, they have Macho Man, Rick Rude, all those guys, but yeah, it's weird that they would exclude Hogan because that show was like literally built around him.
Yeah, but whenever I watch WWE programming, they're still advertising his beer. Sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The only way I'd advertise it is if I were like holding a can of it and then just pouring it down the toilet. All right, I don't even like beer like
Yeah.
that, but that's another story. So yeah, Damian Priest picks up the win, and Drew McIntyre, yes, is going to be off TV for the foreseeable future to heal the injuries he's dealing with right now, and hope he gets back soon and fully recovered, no matter
Hopefully
how
he'll
long it
be back
takes.
in time for maybe towards the end of the year for Survivor Series because I'm hearing like a fantasy matchup where it will be him, Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. That matchup at Survivor Series. So we'll Little
Yeah, we'll see
fantasy
what's up.
matchup that Southern fans put out in the air.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be gone for. He could be gone for a month. He could be gone for 6 months. But however much time he needs to heal to get better, yo, take that time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on to the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. We had Jey Uso defending against the douchebag fuck Logan
Your
Paul,
mortal enemy. And before
society's
the
mortal
match,
enemy.
yeah, but before the match started, Jey Uso and John Cena had a face-to-face confrontation backstage.
Yeah, where like John Cena was, and yeah, like John Cena confronted Jey Uso, and Jey Uso said, "Yeah, the last time I saw you, I threw you out of the Royal Rumble match." And
Mm.
then John Cena was saying horrible. And then John Cena was talking about how horrible it would be for Jey Uso to lose his title to a YouTuber, and in that sense, by him losing it to a YouTuber, that would ruin wrestling. And then talked about how he would be watching the match. And then there was one point where Jey Uso actually had the match won. And then lo and behold, John Cena pulls the referee out and screws Jey Uso.
Yeah, pretty much. And then pretty much they're both beating him up. But then the unexpected happened. I knew this was going to happen. Cody Rhodes makes his return for the first time since WrestleMania.
Yes, John Cena and Logan Paul were double teaming Jey Uso up until, yeah, Cody Rhodes' music hit. The crowd went crazy. Cody
Oh
Rhodes
yeah,
hauled ass to the ring, just like
yeah.
his wife had told him, yo, we have a babysitter tonight, so now it's just the two of us tonight. That's how fast he was running. So
Huh.
yeah, he came into the ring. He started beating down John Cena, laid him out with the crossroads. And as Logan Paul was up to his shenanigans, about to use some brass knuckles on the Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso hit him with a super kick, the splash from the top rope, and he got the pin to retain his title.
And then right after the match, he announces that he's back and that you have your partner, you have your man Logan Paul. Well, guess what? I have mine. I'll see you at Money in the Bank. So it's going to be Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus John Cena and Logan Paul in a tag team match.
This should be interesting. It's funny, I heard it was going to be another match before this ended up going down on Saturday. I heard it was going to
Mm.
be Cody, Jay, and Jimmy Uso against Cena, Logan Paul, and Travis Scott.
No, no, no. No, Travis Scott. No, I'm
What if
sorry.
what if Travis Scott is as good as Bad Bunny?
Hell no.
How do you know? You haven't seen him have a match yet.
Kurt, Travis Scott could he? What I saw, what he did at Mania was just what I saw was enough. I was like, no.
The way it was used was trash. Yeah, the way it was used and the way it played off was trash. But I'm saying,
Oh,
like, in an actual match, what if he's actually good? I'm not saying I'm like, aching to see it right now, but I'm saying, what if he ends up surprising us?
until I heard he's been training, then yeah, I'll
He
be
has been
convinced.
training. He
He
has been
has.
training.
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you didn't
that.
know that?
No,
Yeah, I've been hearing for a minute he's been training to be a wrestler.
no, I did not hear that though. But I don't know, man. Just what happened at Mania left a sour taste in my mouth when The Rock didn't show up. But yeah, you got Travis Scott. Just like I don't know about that. Just too much Travis Scott. Sorry.
Well,
I
yeah,
love
screw
him.
that.
I love Travis Scott. I love his music though, but it was just like, nah, man. I don't know.
Honestly, I would rather see the tag match that I mentioned last week with Jalen Brunson and somebody against Tyrese Halliburton and somebody.
At SummerSlam though, yeah.
Yeah, it's SummerSlam. They got to do it. I think they're going to actually. All right, but in any event, before SummerSlam, that's still a couple months away. We do have Money in the Bank coming up from LA, close to your neck of the woods. And
About a
yeah,
week and a
shaping.
half left, right?
Yeah, it's 10 days away. It's starting to shape
Oh,
up. We
that's
have
fast, man.
we have Cody Rhodes and Cena. I'm sorry, no. We have Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso against Cena and Logan Paul. We have
Mhm.
the men's Money in the Bank, which so far has LA Knight, Solo Sokoa, Penta, who won an incredible triple threat match on Raw Monday along with Dragon Lee and Chad Gable. Yo,
Happy
that
for
match
him.
was wild.
I
Yo, that
know.
match was crazy.
Happy for him. He needed that position. I'm happy that he's in this match. So
Yes, and also another person who qualified this past Monday on Raw was Seth Rollins in a great triple threat main event with Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. It was so crazy how this finish happened, where like literally Dominic Mysterio slid a chair to Finn Balor, but then it backfired and Rollins hit the curb stop on the Finn on the chair, and Rollins qualified.
Dirty Dom is in so much heat right now.
Oh yes, he's in heat
Too
with
much
Finn
heat.
Balor. He's in heat with Liv Morgan now that
He
Roxanne
returned.
Perez, yeah, Liv Morgan returned as Roxanne Perez was offering Dominic her chicken fingers. Take that however you want. And yeah, she was not happy.
And speaking of that, Roxanne Perez kind of cost Liv Morgan her chance to be in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match as well.
Well, that wasn't a qualifying match.
Yeah, it was a qualifying match.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was.
Nah, it wasn't a qualifying match.
No.
But she did interfere in Liv Morgan's match on Raw against Kairi Sane. She pushed Kairi Sane off the top rope as Raquel was distracting the referee, but Raquel got mad at Roxanne, started arguing with her, and this argument got Liv distracted, and that led to Liv losing the match to Kairi. But backstage afterwards, Liv blamed Raquel for the loss, not Roxanne.
Oh, this is not good. You have tensions, and they're
Yeah,
still the women's tag team champions. I don't know, and
this is
this
all
is
that
gonna
damn Finn. This is all that damn Finn Balor's fault.
hell yeah, because she was the one who brought Roxanne Perez in the first place. It's starting all the tension and turmoil, man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, they
she brings like Dominic Mysterio like a whole plate of chicken tenders. Like, yo, that dude's gonna get sick if he eats all those.
my God, it was a whole big old plate. You saw how big that plate was?
Yeah, true.
Jeez,
Yeah, I'm so
dude.
happy I'm vegan. I don't eat that shit anymore. But yeah, that's a lot of dead chickens, yo.
Jeez. And then I'm telling you, dude, look, moving
She got
forward,
Carlito apples. She got Carlito a whole bunch of apples.
sheesh. I'm telling you, Liv Morgan and Raquel, if they don't get their act together, they're gonna end up losing those titles because of Roxanne Perez.
Who are they gonna lose it to? There's no damn teams in the women's division right now.
Well, I mean, you never know. It will come up anytime soon, though.
They fired
They
everybody.
but eventually they are going to drop it because of Roxanne Perez. So you see what happened, the detention. She blames Raquel because of her loss. So just keep your eyes open on that moving forward.
Yeah, but what Liv Morgan did say was that she was going to campaign to Adam Pearce to get a qualifying match, which will probably happen this Monday on Raw. And
Oh
with
yeah.
Roxanne Perez already qualifying for the women's Money in the Bank, I see Liv Morgan also qualifying, getting herself into the match too.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Yeah, I could see so like they could play off that more. Also, Julia, who's now a part of SmackDown, qualified last week with a win over Zelina Vega and Charlotte Flair. Also,
Mm.
Alexa Bliss qualified too. Alexa Bliss will be in it.
Mm.
And this Friday on SmackDown, we have an interesting qualifying match between Naomi, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax.
Yeah. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Ooh. Wow.
And also, in addition to that, Bianca Belair is scheduled to return this Friday too.
Yes. You know she's gonna interfere in that match.
Yeah, she's gonna play a factor in that match. I
Oh
definitely
yeah.
see it from a mile away.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed. I hope Naomi wins. I hope Naomi gets into the
Really?
Money in the Bank. Yeah,
Okay.
I hope Naomi gets into the Money in the Bank. And honestly, I would say between her or Roxanne Perez, I hope one of those two win it.
Okay. That
Yeah,
would
so we
be.
have
You know what? If that were to happen, if I had to pick, I will pick Roxanne Perez because of what she's been doing right now with Judgment Day and
yeah,
everything. And that's like the perfect, yeah. That'll be yeah.
yeah, I could definitely see her winning it. I would love to
Nothing
see
against
Naomi.
Naomi, you know what I mean? But it's just where I'm seeing where she's involved right now is like she's involved with just with everybody right now. Naomi is just like involved with Jake Cargill right now. You know what I mean? But when you look at Roxanne Perez, it's like wow, just a whole lot of tension going on. So and you
Yeah,
do that,
I
yeah,
wouldn't be mad if she, wins. I wouldn't be mad at that because it would make sense. She's in a storyline with Judgment Day. She was already in the Royal Rumble and had that record time for the amount of time she was in there. She was in
oh yeah,
Elimination Chamber, had a good performance there. She
hmm
like did those matches with Asuka and Rhea right after WrestleMania, like those tag matches with Julia. So yeah, she's
hmm
like in a real good spot right now. And yeah, she
hmm
could definitely be the Money in the Bank
and it's
holder
crazy.
after
She's
it's
like
all
the
said and
youngest.
done.
She's the youngest wrestler on the roster. She's only 23.
Yeah, she was born the same year as WrestleMania 17.
Oh
Crazy to think about.
God.
Insane.
Oh.
All right, but yeah, we have the men's and women's qualifying matches. We have a few more qualifying matches to go before it's all said and done. Also, this Friday on SmackDown, we're gonna have a qualifying match between Jacob Fatu, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade.
Qualifying match.
Yeah, qualifying match. I could
Hmm.
see Jacob Fatu probably winning, but in all honesty, I think Carmelo Hayes needs it more.
True though, you know how I feel about Carmelo Hayes. I've been mad pro Carmelo Hayes ever since his days in NXT. Even when he moved to the main roster, I wanted him to succeed. This will be really good for him. But at the same time, if Jacob Fatu won that match, I would not be surprised because remember Solo Sikoa was on there, and those two in that match, I mean, they'll cause tension later down the road, maybe start a feud with each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jacob Fatu won.
Yeah, neither would I, but only time will tell. He would definitely be a great addition to that match. I think he would definitely go on a tear.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, we have that coming up in the next few weeks. Or sorry, we have that coming up this Friday on SmackDown, that qualifying match. And yeah, the card's shaping up pretty good. We have the two Money in the Bank qualifying matches. We have the tag match. Also, what's been added as of Raw last Monday is a rematch for the Women's Intercontinental title, as we're going to have Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch.
Yes, and if Becky Lynch loses, this will be her last opportunity, last chance.
Yes, Becky and Lyra had a segment on Raw Monday where basically Becky said if she lost at Money in the Bank, she will not challenge Lyra for that title again. But if she
Mm-hmm.
wins, Lyra has to look her in the eyes and raise her hand.
Yeah, we kind of know where this is going to happen. Little Lyra Valkyria got a great win, great match over her at Backlash. But yeah, Becky Lynch is definitely going to win this match, though. Early
And
prediction.
it's yeah, I could definitely see that. But I've been liking the work Lyra's been doing, even on the mic. Yeah, I feel like she's definitely been holding her own in this feud ever since it started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've liked her like mic work. I like how she goes off with Becky back and forth. Yeah, she really holds her own. Obviously, the matches have been top notch that she's been in. So yeah, I've been liking this reign, and yeah, this feud with Becky is definitely gonna do real big things for her because it already has so far.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I just like that line she said that I don't mind raising the hand of someone better than me, but it's just too bad that hasn't been you yet.
Yeah. And then you also see, I love how she mentioned how like raising other people's hands is something that you rarely do. I'm like, ooh.
Or like when like Becky was like saying what I was going home to my hot husband after our match. You had to go. You were stuck in the hospital with your weird looking fiance, and
Oh
then
my god.
Lyra's like your hot husband. He's the only talented thing about you.
See the back and forth, man. Tell you.
Yeah, it's great,
Yeah.
man.
That's the perfect person to deal with Becky Lynch. That's why they put her in this feud. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. So a lot of the women have been like really getting elevated to that next level. Like I would say, ever since this year started, from Lyra, uh,
Io Sky.
Tiffany Stratton, yeah, and Io Sky. Yeah, those three are the main ones I can mention. Like, and like ever since the start of 2025, literally, like from Tiffany Stratton winning the title from Nia Jackson, cashing in the Money in the Bank, like right after New Year's, and like Io Sky, the run she's going on to now Lyra. Yeah, they've been
Mhm.
doing work. Yeah, ever
They
since this year
have.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see. Like now, it's not just Charlotte and Rhea, Bianca, and
Yeah.
Liv's also in that mix too. Liv, you could also throw in that mix.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like her entrance and her theme music.
Okay.
Yeah, her theme music fits her like her theme music fits her a lot better as a heel than it did when she was a babyface.
I agree. I see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that's another story. So yeah, that's Money in the Bank so far. I'm sure there's at least one more match that's going to be added to the show within the next week or so. But yeah, it looks like a
Probably
pretty
so.
solid show. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like a solid show.
Probably so.
And also, since Jey Uso retained his title against the douchebag fuck Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event, he has Gunther awaiting him on the June 9th Raw from Phoenix.
Yeah. And they had a great promo segment with each other in the ring. Just Gunther just
That's not what a Well, Gunther was good in that segment, but
I mean,
Jey
yeah, I mean,
Uso's part in it has been getting heavily criticized. It looked like he
just the
kind of like
same
didn't
thing.
remember his lines. It kind of looked like he didn't remember his lines, and after like what Gunther was saying
Oh,
and all the things Gunther was saying, like for Jay's like come back to be that, it wasn't really on the same level.
kind of like feels like the stuff that he says in his promos are a little bit repetitive. Kind of like he says the same thing a little bit.
Like one word, 4 letters.
No,
Yeet.
that no, not that part. I love that part. That's your look. You have to have your catchphrase.
No,
Every
that's fine. That's fine. But it
yeah,
felt like he
that
was like
part.
kind of playing off that too much in this scenario.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. It's kind of like where okay, when, for example, when Gunther's done, Jey Uso will be like, "Are you finished?" You know, and he'd be like, "I gotta, you know, prove blah 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 and all that stuff." It's kind of like I don't know. It's like some of the stuff that he was saying is kind of like, well, kind of like you felt like you said that a week ago and a week before that. You know what I mean? A little bit repetitive. If I that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting from him a little bit.
The one thing Gunther like pointed out that it was interesting when he talked about how like the reason why Jay is in championship material is because he cares too much about other people. He cares too much about fighting his friends' battles. But me, the reason why I could stay champion so long is because I only care about
Care about
myself.
me, myself, and he got all aggressive. That's what I was like. Hell yes, Gunther. That's the man right there. There was a part of me, Kurt, that's like, I want Gunther to win. I ain't gonna lie.
Well,
Oh man.
I
Oh
think some kind of angles planned for that match, so I don't think he's going
shit.
to.
I know.
And I think we could see the return of a certain somebody who's having his
Yes,
retirement match this
yes,
year,
yes. I know. Damn it.
especially since Saturday night's main event in July is going to be in Atlanta, along with
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Evolution show. The
Mhm.
Evolution show
Second
is
one.
coming back. Yeah, July
Mm-hmm.
13th.
Damn it.
Taking all over ATL, my former city. It's
I
funny,
know.
my brother and his family are now moving from Atlanta too.
Really?
Yeah, I like I was one of the reasons why they ended up moving to Atlanta, and now that I'm gone, among other reasons, now they're leaving too.
What the hell? Why are they leaving now? What the hell?
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Atlanta's a great city. I love Atlanta. I definitely want to go back and visit. But just living there, for me at least, it just never clicked. Like out of any place I've lived in that I've left throughout my life, I hate to say it, but Atlanta, especially for my experiences when I lived there, it's the place that I miss the least.
Interesting.
Yeah, like it's nothing personal against the city, but just my experience living there and my time there, it just didn't really go well. I'm still kind of
What
trying to
about
recover
the
from certain
people?
ways.
What the people there? I
Not
mean,
the people are fine. Yeah, it wasn't the people. It was just like kind of like where I was, how things were going. And yeah, dating can be a little. I mean, not that dating isn't toxic in other places, but dating can really be toxic there.
mm.
Like just some of the things I would hear, like my female coworkers say about like the guys they want to be with, and like some of their ridiculous standards and whatnot. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I would
Oh
like hear those
wow,
conversations, and I'd be like, oh man,
wow.
like the typical
That's
shit you see
crazy. I
online.
never. That's just. I'm sorry going off topic, but that's just weird. I never really came across like I don't know, like the female friends in my circle. I never. I just. I don't know. I never heard them say that. I never came across females, past,
Like
present, that talk like that. Had that. Maybe I'd never asked them though, but I never. Just the female friends that I've been around just don't come off as the person that like, oh, I want this, and that. Have high standards for men in dating.
like that typical shit you see online, like, oh, my man better
Yeah,
pay for all my bills, even if we're
yeah,
just dating, he
yeah,
better pay for this, he better pay for
yeah,
that. I'm not
yeah,
doing this, I'm not doing that. This is beneath me. Like,
yeah.
prime example, like that video that went viral of like, that one dude who took a date to the Cheesecake Factory and she like, like thought that she was like too good to go to the Cheesecake Factory, like it was beneath her.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I came across certain girls like that a lot out there, admittedly.
Wow. I've never came across women who are like that. It's crazy.
You'd be surprised, man. Yeah, that's why I kind of like got to the point where like it felt good to like write diss songs about them.
There's nothing
Yeah, I'm
wrong
not
with that
gonna
Cheesecake
look like
Factory.
yeah. I think that was actually the Cheesecake Factory he took the girl to. I think that might have been the one I worked at because I recognized the area.
Oh, that one was in Atlanta. I
Yeah, it
didn't
looked
know that
like
because I
it
didn't even know where it was
from
at.
how
I mean, but
from how it
crazy.
looked, but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, my thing is like, yo, it's okay to have standards. It's okay to like, not tolerate disrespect and not tolerate, being treated poorly and whatnot. But then there's a big difference between having standards and having preferences.
Yeah, you can't ask for a whole lot and then can't and then
Espe-
not expect to do your part. I feel like a lot
exactly.
of yeah, because I hear this on social media too, like how women are getting offended when they're asked, "Well, what do you bring to the table?" It's not a like a bad question to ask. If you're asking this, and that from a man in a relationship, then it's only fair. Okay, what are you going to do on your part? What are you going to do? I'm not talking about money or anything like that. Or what could you do? You
Yeah, like
can't
I
just
just don't
expect
like.
you can't expect the man or not whoever man or woman to do their part and you're not doing anything. It doesn't work like that.
I just don't like that mentality of like, yeah, just a lot of these women who like have this attitude of like, you know, demanding so much and like, asking so much of you, but yet they offer little to nothing in return.
Or they just get offended when you ask them, "Hey, what do you bring to the table?" And they're just like, "Oh, like there's nothing wrong with
I
asking
bring
that
me to the
question."
table. I bring me to
Huh?
the table. That's their answer. Their
Who's
answer is I
you?
bring me to the table.
Who's you? Are you gonna if I'm gonna do all this for me? You might as well buy me
And
a replica championship belt then.
and
Shit.
in certain cases, chances are like the right dude will be willing to do certain things for you, like buy you certain gifts, take you on certain vacations, if you don't act so damn entitled about it.
Right.
Yeah, that's like one thing I've even learned with dating girls myself. Like I was able to be treated like a certain way, maybe like rewarded with certain things from certain girls, but I never acted like they owed me those things or acted like I was entitled to those things. Like even when it came to sex, if they said, "Oh, I don't want to have sex until we've known each other this long, dated this long,
That's
etc." I'm like,
fine.
"Okay, cool, no problem." And then chances are we'll end up having sex a lot sooner than they said initially.
Mm-hmm. You'd be surprised when some people are like that. Actually, that's actually a green flag right there. So
Yeah, exactly. Like, look, I'll definitely treat you right. I'll definitely, plan dates, all that good stuff, pay for dates, all that good stuff. But yeah, just certain treatment you have to earn over time. Like you can't be demanding wife treatment when you're just a girlfriend or just literally somebody I'm just dating and getting to know. It takes time for you to get that kind of treatment and to earn that kind of treatment at that.
true.
And same goes for me. Same goes for me too. There's certain treatment from a girl. I can't expect a woman to do wifey duties for me and all that when I'm literally just dating her.
Exactly.
All right, but yeah, I think we've talked about this long enough. But
Yeah.
let's get into a let's get into AEW Double or Nothing that took place this past weekend from Phoenix, Arizona. And yo, this is one wild ass show from the highlights I saw.
I saw one, and I just like just the look.
Oh
Oh yeah,
man, I
you could
can't
just
wait
look
for
on my
this.
face for real.
I can't wait for this.
I saw. Oh my! I was like, what the hell am I watching? She stapled the man's tongue.
Swerve
What?
Strickland, yeah, he got his tongue stapled.
What am I? Whoa! Oh my god!
Maybe they don't like his rapping.
I just what lengths are they trying to go to get viewers? Like what God.
Well, the match my podcast partner is talking about is Anarchy at the Arena, and yo, this match was batshit. There's literally a
That
reason
shit
why
up.
Justin Roberts, before he does the announcement for the match, he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan."
Huh.
That's literally his announcement before the match starts. And they were playing the most random songs throughout the match. Like this match like went 35 minutes literally. They were playing the most random songs throughout the match. They were playing Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. They were
Yeah.
playing that I'm So Excited song from the Pointer Sisters that was like the theme song to Dynamite for like a week. They played that during the match.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, I gotta see this. I'm so pissed I actually missed this. But Swerve Strickland did come out dressed as Predator. I'm sure you appreciated that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the entrance, but yeah, he came out dressed as
No.
Predator.
Oh man.
Yeah, but this match was pretty wild, but it was ultimately won by the baby faces of Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, that whole crew. They did end up winning the match. But yeah, this match was. Oh, even the women were in the match too. Willow Nightingale was a part of the women's team.
Right.
Yeah,
Man.
but this was crazy, man. But yo, I know it's not for everybody. I know this violent type of wrestling could be overkill sometimes, but I feel
Mhm.
like in this situation it worked. Like it's kind of like in this situation, it's what you expect to get.
Yeah, but stapling a tongue though, even ECW didn't even do that, Kurt. I mean,
That we saw of, at least.
huh?
That we at
That
least saw
was,
footage of.
I mean, I think we've seen like a lot of footage of ECW that we've seen
Yeah.
close and personal. I've never seen anything like that before.
Mm.
I've seen people go through barbed wire, flaming chairs, just everything, man, and thumbtacks, you name it. Getting power bomb or suplex through stacks of tables, and I've seen it all. We've seen it all, but like that, stapling a tongue, my God.
Yeah, that's rough, son. Yeah. And
Ooh.
yes, Swerve had the battle scars to prove it afterwards. Yeah, I guess this is karma for what he said about Booker T.
Oh, you know what just hit me? I should have said this a long time ago, but I'm gonna say it now. The reason why
Okay.
Sir Strickland hates on Booker T is because Sir Strickland was never king.
Oh my God.
That's simple. He was never king of the world. That's what
Never king of the world. You mean king of
exactly.
SmackDown?
Exactly. He wasn't the champion of champions. Okay.
King of the McDonald's Kids Club, like Sheamus was.
I'm telling you, man, he wasn't king. That's right. He didn't have
Uh,
the royal scepter. Okay, he didn't have a queen at his side. Come on now.
yeah, but he's doing fine. But that's another
Yeah.
story. But yeah, also at Double or Nothing, Mercedes Monet won the Owen Hart Cup tournament by beating Jamie Hayter in the finals. So now there's
Hmm.
another title, another accolade you could add to Mercedes Monet's list.
Yeah.
She lost one title a few weeks ago. Yeah, she lost one title in Japan a few weeks ago after not getting pinned, and now
Mm.
she has another one.
She didn't get pinned.
Yeah, it was a triple threat match. She didn't get pinned to lose the title.
Wow. Mm.
So now with this win, Mercedes Monet is now set to challenge Timeless Tony Storm at All In Texas on July 12th. Which, funny enough, WWE is running Saturday night's main event
They're
that same day, and also NXT, the Great American Bash, that afternoon, head to
they're
head.
going head to head. Yeah, and it's funny because they went double or nothing went head to head with Battleground that same
Yeah,
night. Crazy.
yeah, and guess who's the one instigating this whole thing?
I want Tony Khan.
Nah, because WWE, nah, because AEW's had All In Texas like set for months, and then WWE
Oh
literally just
right.
made announcements like a week or two ago.
Oh, of course TKO. Of course.
Yeah, but no, All In Texas looks like it'll be solid. From
Yeah.
this match being one example. Yeah, freaking Mercedes Monet and Tony Storm, though that's gonna be a big deal. And
Yeah.
look, I know people are upset that Mercedes Monet won again, and she has another title, and it's kind of getting old, and she never loses, which is true. She has not lost a match at all since she's been in AEW. But realistically, Tony Storm and Mercedes Monet is like the biggest match women's wise that they could do.
I agree. And I don't know if Tony Storm does win. That'll probably finally will give the critics what they needed, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure if she's gonna win.
Oh,
Yeah, like with this run Mercedes is on, yeah, I don't think she can have enough titles. I think that's the point that she's getting to now. Like she just can't
title
have enough
hog,
belts.
gold hog.
She's with championships what TKO is with money.
Right. You know what's funny with Battleground? I loved how they booked the TNA championship on that card.
Oh yeah, with Joe Henry and Trick Williams.
Hmm.
I believe in conscious Kurt. I believe in conscious Kurt.
But I like I think that was good that Trick Williams won.
Yeah, that was a good look.
But it was
Congratulations to him.
funny. There was a picture of the TNA president. The look on his face after he won, I was like,
Oh,
"Whoa,
I
okay."
saw.
Oh
Yo,
my
but
god, I was like, "Am I missing
yo,
something
but
here?" Oh man,
Yo, shout out to Trick Williams. Great talent. Now the TNA champion has a lot of momentum.
I like
Gonna
that belt.
Yeah, he should be a star when he gets called up to the main roster. And he's
Yeah.
also dating Lash Legend too.
Oh, I like the belt though. Nice belt.
Yeah, good looking belt.
I like the video documentary they did. AJ Styles is the perfect person to do it. I loved how they did the little documentary on that belt, the little short little documentary on that belt, and it kind of brought me back because I was like, remember, I used to watch TNA a little bit back in the day, 20 years ago. I can't believe it's been 20 years, but I remember like all the former wrestlers who held that championship, including AJ Styles. So it kind of like it brought me back a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, it's crazy that it's being defended on WWE TV now.
Yeah,
And also, Mike Santana made his WWE debut officially on NXT last night.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about this guy.
Yeah, he was a part of Jericho's stable, the Inner Circle, a couple years ago in AEW, and yeah, now
Mm,
he's even though like it's a part of TNA technically and NXT, he made his debut on WWE TV last night. Good for
good for
him.
him. Good for him.
Yeah, more power
But
to him.
I feel bad for Booker T right now.
Oh, because Stephanie Vakura got called up to the main roster.
Yes. God. Oh man. It,
Yeah,
it's
I
um it,
really,
it-
I really want to know what Charmel thinks of all this. I really want to know what she thinks of his reactions to her doing that move.
yeah. You know what? Just in general, whenever a wrestler has to leave NXT, it's like graduation. It's sad
Yeah, it
that
is.
man they're leaving, but you're moving on to bigger, better things. You got your diploma. Now you're moving on.
Yeah, so Stephanie McMahon is apparently going to be a part of Raw, and also
Mhm.
it's been reported that Jordan Grace is going to be on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Raw was
expected to get called up.
it's very obvious that Raw was the show for Stephanie Valkyrie to go because I mean she was competing on Raw for the past what 2-3 matches already, so yeah, it was very obvious that yeah, that's the show for her to be on, so yeah,
And
good
it's
for
so
her.
crazy. Stephanie Vercura was one of the women Mercedes beat ever since she debuted in AEW in that Forbidden Door show last year. They
Mm.
wrestled on that show and Mercedes beat her. They had a great match. And then 1 week later is when she signed with NXT.
Oh
Yeah. So
yeah.
in that sense, you can. So in that sense, yeah, she does. I guess owe Mercedes a little bit of credit in that regard.
Mm.
But I will say, as far as Mercedes' title reign goes, look, I know that she wins all the time. People are even calling her Mercedes Hogan.
Funny.
Dead ass. They're calling her that. I get
Yeah.
it, but it is in a way like as far as like a lot of the matches I've seen with her, where even though she does win, she wins in a way where the other person doesn't come out looking less than. Like even though the other person loses, they still come out of it looking good. They still come out of it with a lot of stock, and they still come out of it.
Still coming
What's
out
the word?
strong.
Yeah, they still come out of it strong. But the thing
Yeah.
is, they have a great match with her. It's a great performance, but in a lot of cases, with the exception, honestly, of Stephanie Vakura, that they don't really go as far afterwards. Like afterwards, it's like what do you do with them now?
Mm. Good point.
Yeah, like yeah, it feels like yeah, with the exception of Vakura from last year, everybody she's lost to kind of feels like they're not doing anything as big.
Yeah.
All right, but we'll see what happens. Look, I don't know how much say she has in her winning her matches and all that jazz. I know it doesn't look good. Yeah, with all the titles she has and all that, I know it doesn't look good. But to say that she's not talented and that she's not good, that's not
No.
accurate. That's
No,
bullshit.
no, can't. No.
Regardless if she's your favorite, regardless if you like her or don't like her personally, yeah, when it comes to talent and having quality matches, you can't take that away from her.
Well, you can't.
All right, but
There's
yeah,
a
she
reason
is
why
the
she's in that
women's
position. So, because of her talent. So,
yes, and she is the
yeah.
women's Owen Hart Cup winner for 2025 on a collision course with timeless Tony Storm, who enjoyed a kiss with her opponent after their match on Sunday.
Oh my
I'm sure
God, I
you
forgot
saw
about
that.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
weird.
What do you thought was more weird, that or when Trish Stratus and Mickey James kiss?
Um, I would say this because it was just like felt
Ye-
random. The Trish Stratus and Mickey
Yeah.
James one for the storyline, it made sense because
True.
Mickey James is so obsessed with her and all that.
True. That is true. Yep.
Yeah, but Tony Storm and Mercedes Monet, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on TV to build towards it.
I'm looking for that too. That'll be very interesting.
I remember, I think one time Tony Storm said in a promo when she was doing a promo on all the women, she said, "You call yourself the C." She was like talking about Mercedes, saying, "You call yourself the CEO," and she's like, "When I get done with you, you're gonna be homeless on the streets."
Wow. It's funny.
I'm gonna I'm gonna empty your 401k so deeply that you're gonna have no choice but to live in a shelter for the rest of your life.
Damn.
Some shit like that.
Well, it's funny.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm looking forward to these promos they do on TV.
Yeah.
But I definitely think Tony Storm's gonna smoke her.
Oh, of course.
Mercedes is a good character as a heel, like the facial expressions and her attitude and all that. But as far as promos, yeah, she's gonna get eaten alive by Tony Storm.
Oof.
Yeah, but it is what it is. So that's the match we're getting. I kind of feel bad for Jamie Hayter because she gave a great promo on the Wednesday before Double or Nothing last week about how like the Owen Hart Cup meant a lot to her, and she was like talking about like Owen Hart in general, and how it would be like a big deal for her to win that. And then but like for Mercedes, it's kind of like just another trophy for her.
Yeah, she's just like,
So in that
I don't
regard, I'm
know,
kind of
no
bummed that Jamie
pride,
Hayter
and
didn't
she's
win.
just like, oh, I'm just gonna win it. Doesn't really take too much pride as much as JD Hater does. I get what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make a reference to an episode of Friends, but I know you don't watch it, so never mind.
Oh,
Because that's what I was making
I've
you
been
think
watching
of.
Seinfeld lately.
Never got into it.
You should watch it. It's actually pretty funny, dude. It's really funny, man.
Yeah,
Show's
but yeah, there was
hilarious.
this one skit on Friends where like Joey thinks he's gonna win this award because he's an actor, and then some other lady ends up winning the award, and then he ends up like taking it, and then he feels guilty about it, so he brings it back to her, and then when he brings it back to the lady like just throws it to the side because she has so many awards that like that one like doesn't mean shit to her. So like then he steals it
It,
again.
dude, it's funny because like one of the episodes I watched on Seinfeld, they were referencing about going to a Knicks game.
I'm sure they were. They're New Yorkers.
Yeah, and then it was funny because Jerry kind of like met up with a friend of his, like it was like an old friend of his, and like he was trying to avoid the guy, but they finally like, okay, we'll hang out. And then he was hearing this sob story, so he ends up because Jerry and his friend they had 2 tickets, so he ends up giving his his ticket away to the Knicks for the Knicks game, and his other friend found out about it. He was pissed. I was like, damn, you put yourself in a situation like that where it's like, let's say me and you, Curly, are gonna go to the Knicks game, but I ended up giving that ticket to another friend. You'd be pissed, wouldn't you?
Even if it's for a good cause, yeah, I would still be pissed.
And this is the 90s, Kurt. This was like, what, 91, 92, and Patrick Ewing's on the team. So, yeah, you'll be freaking pissed.
I remember seeing Seinfeld at the Game 7 of the Knicks and Pacers from 95.
Huh?
I remember seeing Seinfeld like in the front row for that Knicks and Pacers Game 7 in the 95 playoffs. They were like showing all the
Really?
celebrities there. Yeah, I saw
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Seinfeld
yeah.
there. I
Yeah,
saw Trump
yeah,
there.
yeah.
All right,
Crazy.
but anyway, yes, in the main event of Double or Nothing, though, we did have Will Ospreay and Hangman Adam Page for the men's Owen Hart Cup. And after over 36 minutes and an incredible match where people are saying it's probably the best match on the whole show and the match of the year candidate, Hangman Adam Page picked up the win.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw the highlights of this match. Yo, this match is wild. Having to
Gotta
go
check
on
those out.
after that, having to go on after that Anarchy at the Arena match, that cannot be fucking easy. But these two dudes fucking bodied it.
I'll always like Hangman Adam Page. I always like that guy.
Yeah, it
Good
feels like he's
talent.
back. It feels like he's back to that top spot again because it kind of felt like he was out of it for a few years, but like now it feels like he's back at it. And like after having a match that incredible with Osprey in the main event, to have to go on after that Anarchy at the Arena match, yo, that is saying a lot. And now he's the men's Owen Hart Cup winner for 2025, and he will face John Moxley for the AEW Championship at All in Texas.
Nice. So this is kind of like the way you're describing this is kind of like how you win this match, you get a title shot, correct?
The new King of the Ring. Yeah, that's basically what this is the new King of the Ring.
Oh, I see. I like that.
Or AEW's version of King of the Ring.
I like that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and like All in Texas is basically their SummerSlam. It's going to be in a stadium.
Okay. Yeah, the baseball stadium where the Texas Rangers play at.
Yeah, so that's like their biggest event of the year. So yeah, they're building towards that. But yeah, Double or Nothing looked like a good show from the highlights I saw. And yeah, especially those 3 matches I mentioned, those were the highlights.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's Double or Nothing. And it came out today, actually, a few hours before we started recording, that John Laurinitis has officially been dropped from the lawsuit by Janelle Grant and has agreed to provide evidence confidential evidence
Wow.
against Vince McMahon.
Oh,
Yeah, so looks like John Laurinitis is singing like Whitney Houston. It's a rap for Vince McMahon the way it's looking right now.
yeah. And I don't know if this was true or not. I was hearing all over the past couple of days. Like Vince is trying to buy WWE back from
Yeah,
TKO.
that ass clown coachman said that. Yeah, I saw that post
Yeah, I
float
didn't
around the
know if it
last
was
week.
true or not. I kind of just like, oh, okay, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Vince. Yeah, Laurinaitis definitely did whatever he could to get himself out of this whole scenario because he already came out of it looking bad enough.
Mm,
So looks like he's gonna testify against Vince
wow.
the same way Henry Hill testified against his homies in the mob in Goodfellas.
I was just watching that movie a couple like this past weekend.
It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's on
I
Netflix.
know, but I since you brought it up just real quick, like, all right, do you justify what Jimmy did to his gang after they pull off the heist? Like, just think about it. You pull off a big heist like that, common sense, you're gonna be like, okay, don't spend anything yet because if you do, you're gonna like easily get
Attract
caught.
attention. Yeah, attract the wrong attention.
So do you blame Jimmy Robert De Niro's character for like, yo, like what the heck is your guys' problem? You know what I mean? Do you like blame him for acting that way, or is it like kind of reacted just too much?
That's a good question. I never lived the mafia lifestyle. I can't relate to it in that regard.
Me personally, like,
But I can see why
was
he
it
would.
when they had that party, right? The little Christmas party. Was that like a couple of days after the heist, or like what, a month, or it was a couple of days, right?
Yeah, it had to be like really close to like when it happened. But yeah,
Oh,
like just
see,
the dude
hell
coming with a
no,
pink, the dude coming with
nah,
a pink Cadillac with the like the mink coat with his girlfriend. It's
ah,
like,
dude.
yo, like I can't say what I would do myself, but I could see why Robert De Niro would want to cut ties with some of these people, literally,
My
and he
girlfriend
literally cut
Samantha.
ties with them.
Literally, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, literally, yeah. And look, I love, like, no offense to my girlfriend Samantha, I love her, but like she was like saying how like he should have not have done that. I was like, babe, dude, you don't do that. Well, he should have never gave the money. I was like, it doesn't matter. He literally told everybody. Obviously, he told everybody before you pull off the heist, don't do nothing. I told you, don't spy anything, don't do nothing.
I think
He
he would
literally
have probably
made
done
that
the same
clear.
thing. Honestly, I think he probably would have done the same thing to Henry Hill if he was doing that shit. But Henry Hill like knew like not to
Exactly.
show off too much or to attract negative attention. But those
Right.
other
You only
guys
got a
apparently didn't know
tree.
that.
You only got a Christmas tree. How harmless is that? Like, okay, you got a Christmas tree. So what? It's
Yeah,
not
but
compared to buying a car or a mink
honestly,
coat.
the one dude that like really got on my damn nerves throughout that movie, and I was that one dude who was like who had the fake toupee, who kept like asking for his money.
Well, wait a minute, Kirk. He was the one who was like who orchestrated, so he kind of wanted his cut. I mean, like he kept asking for his money for God knows how long.
He
At a
kept being
certain
such a pain in
point,
the ass about it. He kept being such a pain in the ass about it that Robert De Niro cut his ass too.
and at first he's like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it," and then he changed his mind. I was like, "What the fuck? What the hell, dude?"
I
But
felt
no,
bad for the dude's wife, though. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for his
I
wife.
I know, but like, but man, like, I was just like, I'm sorry, Samantha, I love you, but it's like, I don't blame what he did though. It's like when you do a heist like that, especially a couple days after, you need to lay low, don't do anything because you got to remember, you that's a lot of money that they stole, and the cops, FBI, or whoever are they're going to be on that case for a while. They're going to try to find out what happened, who did it, and then if you go and see somebody like, oh, this person has a really nice car, they're going to trace that back. So you don't do that. That's
And
just
it,
common sense. It's like
and
you don't do nothing like that.
damn, in some cases, I hate to say it, maybe if Lorenz Tate's character in Dead Presidents adopted that attitude, maybe he wouldn't have gotten caught.
Ooh.
Yeah, remember, like in after they pulled off that heist, the one dude from the church was like spending all the money at once and like drawing a lot of attention. Then he ended up getting caught. Then he ended up snitching.
Oh, I see. I got to tell my girlfriend about that. And it wasn't
Yeah,
really too long after they pulled off that heist, right?
yeah. It was. I always maintain like yeah that also Menace to Society, one of the two of the saddest endings to a movie you'll ever see.
Mm,
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah.
that's what happens, man. Sometimes, like, yeah, certain people are just dumb. Even if they get away with it, they draw negative attention to themselves. They
Lay low.
can't help themselves, and yeah, they just have to show
Exactly.
up.
And especially after we told you, okay, when we do this, don't do it. And then you think about Samuel Jackson's character. Fool was like, oh, didn't do what he was supposed to do. His fingerprints was on the wheel, and he was high. I was like, oh my god, you literally just ruined it for everybody now.
Yeah,
Ay.
hated to see him die, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we got off a topic big time
I
from
know,
all
I know,
this. Let's
because
get
you're
into the
talking
Vince
about good.
thing.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that quick question because it was when I was watching the movie, and then like my girlfriend's like, "He should not." I was like, "Babe, I would have did the same thing. I would have like,
Yeah, but
shit."
as far as Vince goes, obviously we've said what we needed to say about Vince ever since this whole thing came out, and it
Yeah.
looks like Laurinitis is gonna drop a lot of gems in this case too, because who was
Oh
as close
boy.
to Vince as he was in like the last, I would say, 20 years or so. Imagine the shit he saw, obviously did for that matter. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, not looking
Not good.
good.
Nope.
I mean, I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel any sympathy for Laurinaitis either. But I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me that he would, sing on Vince.
Huh. You'll be surprised. Be
Yeah, but
surprised.
Laurinaitis, honestly, no. Like even with Vince, like most of the stories about him are negative, but he does have some of his supporters. But Laurinaitis has no supporters. Nobody
Yeah.
fucks with that guy. Even his own brother, I heard, apparently wasn't a fan of his.
Oy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, but fuck them both. I don't, yeah, feel any sympathy for either one of them. They're like the lowest form of scum of this earth from the vibe I get, and yeah, nothing else really I can say beyond that.
Hmm.
All right, but my brother, anything else you want to get into this week?
Oh, just one more thing. Jr. Jim Ross actually had successful colon cancer surgery.
Yes, he did. It came out yesterday. Yeah, he had his
Yeah.
operation yesterday, and apparently they removed the cancer from
Yeah.
him. But
So
he does have
just
a
just
long
got to recover.
recovery, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has.
So happy to hear that, man. So great to hear that, and again, still speedy recovery. And that's all I got to say about that. And for now, and again, um, follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, known as X at thechamps.clash. And I'll also remember that our audio episodes are available on Spotify, on Speaker for free. And if you want to see us on our video edition of our episodes, we're always available on YouTube.
Yes, follow us in all those places. Subscribe to our content. Watch our episodes live. Watch it on YouTube, or you could listen to it through Spotify, whichever you prefer. Definitely connect with us in any way you feel is more comfortable for you. And also feel free to leave comments on the episodes. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you don't like. We'd be more than happy to discuss and debate with you in a healthy way, even possibly have you as guest on the show. And also, yeah, let's send our happy birthdays to Seth Rollins and also Natalia. Their birthdays were the
Yeah, Seth
last few
around
days.
39.
Yeah, Seth Rollins is my age. I'm 2 months older than him.
Oh, wow.
And also, Natalia's birthday party looked like a lot of fun. She had all the girls with her on a yacht.
No, I didn't see that.
I saw it. Yeah, Bianca Belair was there. Rhea Ripley was there. Tiffany Stratton was
Oh,
there.
that clip of that. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about now. Yeah,
Naomi was there. I'm like, yo, it looks mad lit up there. I want to go there
I bet.
too. Yeah, but yeah, happy birthday to them. And yes, until next time for John Randall, this is Conscious Kurt with another edition of Clash of Champions. Take care. Enjoy your week. And remember, don't be an asshole in real life or social media, because that toxic bullshit is for the birds.
And then, as I always say, stay safe, stay blessed, and always stay adventurous.
Go Knicks. Peace.